Greetings to you, the lovely GIC viewers and listeners within and beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia, and a very warm welcome to your Tuesday morning second edition of the Offices, Ministries and Agencies Information Sharing Session. As always, we are coming to you live from the Government Information Center studio in the heart of the nation's capital. For this morning's second edition, I am your host, Helene Philippus Hamunyela. And alongside my studio guest, we will be keeping you company for the next hour or so. Now, on the menu this morning, we are discussing an overview of the electoral ECN, we are discussing an overview of the 2025 Regional and Local Authority Council calendar by the ECN. And I am joined in the studio by Mr. Peter Sharma, the CEO of ECN. But as is the norm, before I can officially welcome him to the GIC, I'd like to extend a warm invitation to you, Namibia, to be part of this discussion by following the conversation on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. Now, on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Be part of this discussion by adding your contributions on our comment sections on our social media platforms. Mr. Sharma, good morning once again, sir, and welcome to the Government Information Center.
Good morning, Helen. Thank you very much.
All right. Now, Mr. Sharma, as we are discussing the 2025 Electoral Commission for the regional and local election for the 2025, right? As we are discussing that, briefly talk to us about the ECN being the custodian for these elections. Please briefly talk to us about the mandate of the ECN, when it was established, what necessitated the establishment of ECN, and, the rest.
No, thank you very much. First of all, let me greet the Namibians over there, and in particular our electorate, for listening to us as we are engaging this morning on a very critical engagement, which is surrounding on our electoral democracy. As you recall very well, the Electoral Commission of Namibia is a statutory body established in terms of the Namibian Constitution, Article 94B, as the electoral management body charged with the responsibility to conduct, organize, and administer elections in the country. And the Constitution further says the Commission must do this in any independent, free, transparent manner, without any influence from any body. And the Electoral Commission of Namibia, in terms of Article 94B, as I indicated, is the only exclusive body to run the elections in the country. In other words, you will never find a similar or closer body or institution conducting election in the country. This is to make sure that the elections are conducted from a central but statutory body in the country. And this is to ensure our electoral democracy. That's why the commission was established.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for setting the tone for this conversation this morning. Now, of late, the media has reported on several news stories about the regional and local authority elections for the 2025, right? And now, briefly share with us what the 2025 regional and local authority councils elections are all about, because as Namibians, as electorals, we would want to know, and why they are such important part in the Namibian democratic process.
Thank you very much, Helene. First of all, let me focus on the legal framework.
Right.
The first one is our supreme law, which is the Namibian Constitution, read together with the Electoral Act number 5 of 2014, the Regional Councils Act, the Local Authorities Act. These are all the pieces of legislation that require the conduct of the national election in Namibia. Either it is a presidential and national assembly elections, the regional councils and the local authority elections, as we are to conduct this year, or a by-election. So if you look at both or all this legal framework, they require us to conduct back-to-back national elections. That's why this year we are conducting the regional councils and the local authority election, given that last year we conducted the presidential national assembly elections.
Right.
So now, what is the importance of regional councils and the local authority elections? These are platform or system established to elect leaders at grassroots level. To elect leaders, why? To accelerate the services delivery in terms of the provision of, in terms of providing land, water, electricity, healthcare, education, food and nutrition, housing, you name them. In other words, you need these leaders for the development to start. It starts with either at constituency level or local authority level.
Right.
That's why you need these leaders as direct representative of the government with the people on the ground. So, these elections plays a very critical role towards the development of any region or constituency, because remember, all these are emanating from the constituency level.
Right.
Or at a local authority level. So that's why we need them, so that the leaders assess the needs of their communities they lead, and they come up with necessary capital projects to address those needs in terms of services that I have already alluded to earlier. So maybe let me focus on the regional council elections.
Yes, please.
Why the regional council election? So the regional council elections are elections conducted according to the majoritarian or first past the post electoral system. In other words, in this system, a candidate with the most votes wins and is elected as the regional council. In other words, a candidate with the highest majority of votes takes all. So, and then the voters in terms of the Electoral Act, sorry, they are required to vote in the constituency where they reside.
Right.
And where they are registered.
Very important to note.
So a person may be nominated to contest the regional council elections under the following. One, if a person is a member of the registered political parties. That's number one.
Right.
He or she must be a member of the registered political party. In other words, that political party must be registered with the Electoral Commission of Namibia.
Right.
That's the first thing.
First things first.
Yes. If not, forget about it. So, and then that political party must nominate the candidate to participate in the election.
Right.
Of the regional council. Of course, the law also makes a provision for any Namibian aspiring to contest the regional council elections as independent candidate. It's provided for in the law.
All right.
So if such person takes a decision, there must be a requirement, the key one. Number one, he or she must be a registered voter. That's why we are taking registration across the country.
Right.
And
This
then,
is now, sorry, CEO, this is now for the aspirant independent candidate.
Yes.
All right. They must be a registered voter.
Must be a registered voter.
To contest as
Independent candidate.
independent candidate.
And the nomination of such independent candidate must be supported by at least 100 registered voters.
Okay.
It can be more.
Right. But minimum.
It is big simply because they are not registered with the Electoral Commission of Namibia before.
Right.
On nomination or during the nomination application or submission must be submitted by at least 150 registered voters.
All right. So they need to at least have 100 supporters, but the 100 supporters need to then also be registered voters with the ECN.
Yes.
Right.
What happens is we run the system. If you submit 160, for example, and we run through that, these are not registered voters, you will fall short.
Right.
You fall short, and then we will require to top up the difference that you short.
Okay.
These must be registered voters.
All right.
So in other words, being now a candidate nominated by the political party or independent candidates, these are, we call them regional councillors. In a simple word that we normally use is the constituency councillors.
Right.
They are elected to serve in each constituency. As we know, we have 121 constituencies across the countries. So they now elected to serve on those 121 constituencies across the country.
Right.
So because these are elections in one, the regional, 2 elections in one, the regional councils elections and the local authority election. I have covered the regional councils in short.
Yes.
Let me touch the local authorities elections.
Maybe before we go there, CEO, I just wanted a little bit of clarity concerning the 100 minimum supporters for an independent candidate. I wanted to find out, should they then be from the constituency where this independent candidate is coming from, or can it be from anywhere else in the country?
Oh, of course. The independent candidate or even the candidate nominated by the parties, they must be within that constituency.
Right.
And the supporters of that particular independent candidate must be from the same constituency.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, CEO. You can now proceed.
So let me now come to the issue of the other element or other part of these elections, that's the local authority elections. These are elections conducted in terms of proportional representation system. In other words, it's a proportional list where parties, organizations are required to submit a list of the candidates that they want to participate in these elections.
All right.
Normally, there are seats allocated for each local authority, and then seats are allocated in proportion to the numbers of votes after the election. So the more votes the party or organizations or associations contesting the election, the more seats that particular party organization receive. Independent, I want to underscore this.
Right.
Independent candidates, they are only allowed to contest for the regional councils.
Not the local authorities.
Not the local authorities.
Right. Very important.
The local authority elections are only for the political parties, and I want to underscore again, registered political parties, the commission, and organizations or associations.
Okay.
So, as we recall very well, there are also before July this year.
Right.
Sorry, we had 57 local authorities. But of course, by July, from July, there were 2 additional local authorities proclaimed. That is Onanjaba in Okalongo constituency in Umsati, and the Uis in the Daures in the Rongo region. Now we are talking about 59 local authorities
from 57
for this year's election, from 57 to 59.
All right. Okay.
So for this election, these are the requirements for the local authorities. So this must be registered voters for the political party, organization or associations. And then the parties or association or organizations nominate their representative to the local authority. So the local authority councillors are elected to serve the people in their various local authorities. And we have different types of local authorities. There are local authorities that are categorized as village councils.
Village councils, yes.
There are those who are categorized as town councils, and there are those categorized as municipalities. Of which I think when it comes to the municipality, we can single out the municipality of Windhoek,
right,
which is the biggest local authority in the setup of the local authority of 59 local authorities countrywide. So these are the issues, but on top of the requirements again, maybe let me emphasize the following. For a candidate to be dominated for the regional councils, being independent candidates or being a candidate nominated by the political party must pay 2,500 Namibian dollars.
Okay.
But for the local authorities, there are no fees attached.
Okay. So the cost implication only applies at the regional council level?
Regional council level.
Not at the local authority?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right.
Good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, CEO. I thought you wanted to expound more on that, but...
if I need to be, I can.
Okay.
Yes.
Please do.
Yeah, it's only to say we need to, maybe we need to touch on the issue of nomination.
Okay.
So in terms of independent candidates, as I indicated earlier, there must be a support of 150, which are registered voters. There must be a form completed, and that form must be signed by 2 registered voters of the 150 to be signed or to sign that form on behalf of the independent candidate.
Right.
Simply because they are not registered with the commission earlier. That's why they need to have 2 registered voters to sign for the independent candidate. And they must pay a non-refundable fee of 2,500, which must be paid in the state revenue account.
Okay.
So I think that's what I wanted to emphasize. And in terms of the candidate submitted or nominated by the political parties also, the requirement is that they only need a form signed by the political party concerned.
Right.
And then the 2,500 fees, Namibian dollars, which is also non-refundable. And then those are the costs with the forms that are required to be completed.
Okay. Now, Namibia, if you are just tuning in, you are tuned into an information sharing session under the flagship of the OMAS, which means offices, ministries, and agencies. In this morning's topic, we are discussing an overview of the 2025 Regional and Local Authority Council electoral calendar by the ECN. And I am joined in the studio by the CEO of the ECN of Namibia, of course. And you too can be part of this conversation by following the discussion on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. Now on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, if you are a YouTuber, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. I'm keen to hear as to what contribution you would like to add onto this conversation this morning. Now, Mr. Sharma, as we continue with our discussion in the studio this morning, as we approach the 2025 elections, the ECN has released the 2025 electoral calendar, right? Could you briefly take us through some of the major activities and milestones that the public should be aware of? From the voter registration, of course, given that that has already taken place.
No, thank you very much, Helen, and thank you, the viewers. Maybe before I touch on that one, let me talk about the significance of the electoral calendar.
Right.
And probably, how does the commission prepare for an election? First of all, either being for a by-election or for a scheduled elections, the commission must develop the electoral calendar.
Right.
The electoral calendar contains electoral activities that are of sequential nature, time-bound, and statutory. But of course, they are interdependent.
Right.
You cannot execute the activity if the preceding one is not concluded. That's what it means. So that's why they are of sequential nature, and they are interdependent.
All right.
So we have developed a calendar for this year, which outlined all the key electoral activities and the statutory timelines, because these timelines are prescribed by the law. That's why you have a calendar, to make sure that you approach the process in a systematic manner,
right,
to make sure that no activity is left out without being executed. So, and that calendar is serving as a roadmap for the Electoral Commission of Namibia. I must indicate that to start with, we have concluded the supplementary registration of voters that was conducted from the 4th to the 19th August 2025. And it was preceded by the robust voter education.
Okay.
It's a statutory requirement because for each election that we are conducting and for each registration that we are conducting, there must be a voter education campaign conducted to educate the voters why and where to register.
Right.
So we have produced the provisional voters register on the 25 up to the 8th September, and that paves a way for us to publish in the government gazette the provisional voters register on the 12th of September, and on the same day is when we have released it to the public and to the political parties as required by the law. And then what will happen, or what happened is that the law requires that the provisional voters register must be displayed for objection against any name included in the voters register. And that process took place from the 12th to the 15th September.
Right.
So, and then that follows now the objection. If there are objections, they lodge the objection with the electoral tribunal. And that period was opened from the 12th to the 2nd October. It was concluded.
Okay.
And then the law also makes a provision to say if the electoral court, which is, if the electoral tribunal, which is normally the magistrate established in all over the country, considering the objections, if they are concluded, they also what we call appeals. If the aggrieved applicants are not happy, or even the person with whom the objection is made, they can lodge any appeal with the electoral court. And that period is opened until from the 6th to the 14th October. In other words, there's nothing that we can do. We must wait until that period is concluded.
Right.
And then that will now follow the publication of the final voters register. That will be on the 24th October.
Right.
By then, once we produce that, then you have your voters register cleared. If there are objections launched, they will be cleared. Will be required to remove those. If there were no merits, then we retain those voters in the voters register.
Okay.
So once you finalize your voters register, it takes you now to the stage of the nomination. Of course, the nomination has already started administratively from the 26th September, and it will end on the 16th October.
It's ongoing. All
It's
right.
ongoing.
Okay.
There are two stages of nomination.
Right.
I have alluded earlier to the issue of independent candidates.
Yes.
On the 14th October, it will be the last day of the nomination by the independent candidate.
14th of October.
Of October.
Cut-off day
Yes,
for independent.
for independent candidates.
Okay.
So, but of course, administratively, we have also agreed that the political parties and the association independent must submit this by the 12th to allow the commission to finalize administrative part. But of course, the second element is the final day of nomination.
Okay.
Is the nomination by the political parties, associations, organizations. As you know, the associations and organizations will participate in the local authorities.
All right.
So that will be the last day of the nomination. Both the nomination on the 14th and on the 16th will be a public sitting by the returning officers.
Okay.
Unlike last year we have the nomination coordinated and managed at the national level.
Okay.
For this year's election, as I indicated,
Yes.
we are talking about leaders at the grassroots level.
Indeed.
So the nomination is managed by the returning officers. We have appointed 121 returning officers for the constituencies and 59 returning officers for the local authorities, as per the number of the constituency and the local authorities respectively.
Indeed.
These are the officials that are going to manage the nomination process. So on the 16th
of October,
we will know who will participate
in
on the
this
election.
upcoming election.
And it's only on the nomination day that we will know that. So once the nomination is done, which is now currently ongoing until the 16th, once it's concluded, we will now have open the next activity, which is the design, production, and printing of the ballot papers.
Right.
Because now you know who are the candidates
Right.
nominated by the political parties, if independent candidates, if any, and then the candidates nominated by organizations or associations. Then we can talk about the printing of the ballot papers.
Right. Fair enough.
So once the printing of the ballot papers concluded, which will commence from the 18th to the 30th October,
Right.
you can see how tight it is
It is.
and how are we are bound. That's why I'm talking about they are time bound to make sure that the printing of the ballot paper is concluded to pave the way for the voting.
Right.
Voting will be done in two parts.
Okay.
We will have voting on the 24th October, and that voting is specifically meant for the election officials and police officers who will be deployed outside their constituency where they reside and registered on polling day.
Right.
Unlike last year, which was open to all the members of the cluster, security cluster, and the seagoing personnel. This one is specific, only for those that are going to be deployed outside their constituency where they reside and registered on polling day. That's why they are given 2 days earlier before the normal voting day or the main voting day to vote on this on the 24th of October.
Okay.
And then on the 26th November, October, 24th November, sorry.
24th of November.
Of November is the special voting day
Right.
for polling or election officials and police officers
Right.
who are going to be deployed in outside their constituents. It's the 24th November, not October.
Thank you for
Pardon
pointing
for
that
that.
out. Yes.
Then, the 26th November, we all know that this is the day declared as the election day for all of us. For all of us.
Registered voters.
All are registered voters. If you don't have your card, unfortunately.
Too bad. Right.
So, about the calendar, that's where so far I can go. To emphasize that the nomination is going, and we are urging our political parties, organizations, and associations to make sure that they make use of the days provided in the law to make sure that they submit the nominations.
Right.
And we must avoid the last minute submission.
Okay.
Because if that's why we have given a longer period, if there are issues administratively, we will be able to iron them out. Maybe you submit the receipt, it's a proof of payment, it's not there. The photo of a candidate is not the one that is prescribed. a certain form is not properly filled, we have time to iron out. But if you come on the last day, it will put unnecessary pressure on the resources at our disposal.
Right. Now, Mr. CEO, speaking of nominations, I know that the ECN has artwork that is currently circulating pertaining nomination. I know that the team will just display now for the viewers and viewers, pardon me, the listeners of course can't, but the viewers to peruse. We can now have a look at the artwork by the ECN for the nomination of candidates, help desk. All right. Now, Mr. Sharma, as we near the end of our discussion this morning, but also as we move closer to the elections, what is ECN doing to educate and prepare voters? Because I know voters' education is quite important, especially for the first-time voters, to participate effectively, confidently in this year's upcoming elections.
No, thank you very much, Helene. As I indicated earlier, for you to conduct any election, there must be a voter education campaign, aggressive one.
Right.
The same way we did it last year, we are replicating to make sure that we have a robust voter education campaign. First of all, we have our voter education officers deployed across the country to conduct physical sessions or face-to-face sessions with the voters on the ground.
Right.
And they are also supported or complemented by youth ambassadors led by the lead youth ambassador. This is also to encourage particularly the youth, to make sure that they use the opportunity to cast their vote. We have also at the platforms, the digital platforms, as part of our education.
Right.
Static, very soon, you'll see flying all over. Our stakeholders, because remember, conducting elections is a collective effort. From all our electoral stakeholders. We need them, the political parties, the civil society organizations, the churches, we name them. We need them to meet the commission halfway to ensure electoral democracy. And these are all mechanisms that we put in place to make sure that voter education campaigns are robust and we are also using the social media. Of course. So that at least they follow and they talk to one another. So we are happy that we have that system in place. And as we did last year, we hope that it will still bear fruit. And we are urging our stakeholders to play their part. Right. Because as I indicated, this is a collective effort. All of us are required, including the media. Right. This one is part of it. Absolutely. And we really commend the media so far. They have played their part. And as we are preparing for the 26th November, we are urging all our stakeholders to take part in voter education to make sure that we have the required turnout come the 26th November 2025. Right. Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Now, see, Namibia is a vast country with over 121 constituencies. I'd like to know, Mr. Sharma, what are some of the challenges you have encountered, especially given resources, dispatching the officials on the ground to get them there to ensure that the voters' education actually kicks off? Yeah, you see, I always say that you cannot have such magnitude of processes without challenges.
Absolutely.
But the good part is that you must be able to mitigate them.
Right.
So, of course, for you to conduct election, number one, you need mobility, transport.
Right.
So I think transport is one of the challenges that is really hindering our processes. But with voter education, I think we were able to secure a reasonable number. It's not enough.
Right.
We also need to live within the limited resources
And
at our
do
disposal.
the little.
But I'm glad that for this year, we have increased the number of voter education teams
Okay.
to 4 per each region. Last year, we only had 2 teams. That means a significant improvement in terms of that. So that is one. When it comes to the electoral processes themselves, transport is also a challenge. But of course, we must commend members of the public, because what we normally do, we source these vehicles either for registration or for voting from the members of the public. And they turn into big numbers.
Right.
And we commend them. And also, if you look at these teams, by either our voter education officers or the teams that are conducting the either registration or polling, our conditions of our road very hard.
Very.
And we commend them to navigate through all these hard conditions of the road to make sure that at the end of the day, we conduct a successful process.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, before we conclude, lastly, what is the message, the one message that you would like to give, to send out to Namibians at large, especially the registered voters, as we gear up for the 26th of November for these regional and local authorities election?
No, thank you very much. As I indicated earlier, that we have successfully concluded the supplementary registration of voters. We were able to register those eligible voters that will have turned 18 years after last year's general registration of voters, in the vicinity of 54,000 eligible voters. We were able to register for those who also missed the opportunity during the last year's general registration of voters. By now, we have all this registered, and they have the key.
Right.
That key is the voter's card.
Right.
I urge that let us keep the voter's card safe in preparation for the 26th November. And let us use this opportunity to go to the polls when the time comes, so that we elect the leaders of our choice.
Right.
Without the voter's card, you can't vote.
Voiceless.
That's why I urge all of us as registered voters to keep our voters' card safe, so that we are ready to cast our vote come the 26th November. And the last three is our stakeholders. I reiterate my position or our request to say, let all of us play our part collectively to make sure that we educate all our voters, supporters, so that they turn in big numbers.
All right.
Your vote is your voice.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for coming out this morning. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for educating us on matters pertaining the 2025 electoral calendar. And as you've clearly indicated, it's a sequential one. One cannot do without the other, interdependent, but you have managed to pull through and you are almost at the cross line. Thank you so much, and we are wishing you and your team all the best for this very important day in the Namibian calendar to execute. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. I also wish to thank the management,
yes,
of this facility, to give us this platform to engage our registered voters and the Namibian citizens at large. It was really a pleasure, and I thank you very much for this opportunity, and I wish you well, and I wish you all the best, and I'm sure we will engage more, because this is really a platform that we can share more and needed information to the members of the public and our electorate at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, Namibia, that concludes the briefing for this morning. We were talking about an overview of the 2025 regional and local authority council electoral calendar by the ECN, and I was joined in the studio by the Chief Executive Officer of the ECN, and he is Mr. Peter Sharma. You've heard from him. He's briefed you. He has educated you. Come the 26th of November this year, please, let's all head to the polls. Let's be, responsible Namibians. Right? Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I have been your host. My name is Heleni Felipe Samunyela, together with the entire GIC production crew. Until next time, take care.